June 16, 1975. The completion of one of the biggest trades in the history of basketball. The trade would send superstar Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the consensus best player in the NBA, from the Milwaukee Bucks alongside center Walt Wesley to the Los Angeles Lakers in exchange for guard Brian Winters, center Elmore Smith, and Dave Myers and Junior Bridgman. The trade would send a shockwave through the NBA and Milwaukee. But how did it even get to this point?
We delay the start of The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson to bring you the following NBC News special report.
Sometime tomorrow, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar will officially become a member of the Los Angeles Lakers.
It's the middle of March. NBC radio sportscaster Marv Albert breaks the news live on the air that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar wants out of Milwaukee. It turns out, Kareem had wanted out for quite some time, even going as far as privately requesting a trade back in October, at the start of the season. This was the first time, though, that the secret was public. Marv Albert would say, "It is known in basketball circles that Kareem wants out badly, and he would be the one to force the move. The Bucks are on the spot because they may be forced to trade him, even though he's tied to a contract. They may be forced because they know an unhappy Kareem won't do them much good." Bucks president William Averson initially had no comment on the matter, but it didn't take long for the news to spread like wildfire. Kareem himself would have to come out and confirm the rumor that yes, he did request a trade. During his heyday in Milwaukee, there was no other player in the NBA who even came close to Kareem. His 6 seasons in Milwaukee were legendary. He would win Rookie of the Year, make 6 All-Star games, lead the league in scoring in back-to-back seasons in 1971 and 1972, win 3 MVPs, and win Finals MVP in the 1971 NBA Finals when his Bucks swept the Baltimore Bullets, with him averaging 27 points and 18.5 rebounds per game across the 4-game series. Not since Hank Aaron had Milwaukee had a true sports superstar, and after 6 years he was gone, off to Los Angeles to begin the next chapter of his career. The reason he wanted a trade had nothing whatsoever to do with the quality of the organization. It also had nothing to do with wanting to chase a ring or join a better team, even though Oscar Robertson had just retired prior to the start of the season. The Bucks would go a disappointing 38-44 in the 1974-75 season, missing the playoffs for just the second time in franchise history. Even then, Kareem would say that he was most happy with the organization. Rather, it had to do with the cultural makeup of the city. Even though Kareem was making $500,000 a year and was a superstar in the city, Kareem was uncomfortable living in Milwaukee, saying, "I don't have any family or friends here. The things I relate to don't happen to be in this city to any meaningful degree." While Kareem promised to honor his contract to the fullest, he said that he wanted out because culturally what I'm into does not exist here. The makeup of Milwaukee, compared to the 2 cities that he was rumored to want to play in, New York and Los Angeles, was vastly different. When it came to his religion and how he practiced, he was a complete outsider. Kareem was known a devout Muslim, and being a Muslim in Milwaukee was tough. While there are no concrete numbers from the 1970s, in 2015, only 1% of Wisconsin residents identified as Muslim. Compare that to New York and California, the 2 states that boast the largest number of mosques, and where in New York, roughly 1/5 of all Muslims in the United States live. While Kareem was playing in Milwaukee, there was no Muslim organization in Milwaukee that was even registered in the state of Wisconsin. When it came to hobbies, Kareem absolutely loved jazz music. In fact, he loved it so much, he had what was supposed to be a weekly 3-hour radio show in Milwaukee on WNUW-FM that was devoted solely to jazz music. Kareem always loved jazz music, as he even hosted shows of a similar style when he was at UCLA. Kareem would say on his love for jazz, "My father was a musician. Not too many people know that, but he played trombone. In fact, he played all kinds of brass, and it made a really big impression." Meanwhile, in Milwaukee, Kareem's Saturday Jazz Show was the only jazz show in prime time in the entire area. Despite the fact that it was supposed to be weekly, and despite having high hopes for the show only lasted one episode before Kareem canceled the show. He couldn't do anything that he loved in Milwaukee, or that he truly believed in while in Milwaukee, especially not when compared to New York and Los Angeles. Combine that with Kareem being a rather private person who enjoyed alone time, unable to enjoy his favorite spots in the city due to his easily recognizable stature and superstar status. It's no surprise to see that Kareem just never really fit in. There's a reason that Kareem said after he was traded, "Milwaukee is not the kind of city I'm about. I'm not knocking it or the people. It's just that, socially and culturally, I don't fit in Milwaukee." He fit in quite easily in New York, since he was born there, and was heavily influenced culturally there. He fit in quite easily in Los Angeles, where he went to school at UCLA. But Milwaukee was a whole different story, which is why a source after the announcement said he's just fed up with the situation. It's a number of things, not any one reason. Even though the Bucks tried everything in their power to change the situation, there was simply nothing that could be done. As great as the organization was, and not once did Kareem have any complaints in that department, he wanted out. A city that had rallied behind him suddenly had to say goodbye to their beloved superstar. Kareem would end up getting his wish by getting traded to the Los Angeles Lakers. He would continue his dominance, where he was one of the greatest players to ever play the sport. By the time his career ended, he was a 19-time All-Star, a 6-time MVP, and was 3rd all-time in rebounds and 1st all-time in points, a record that he held for 38 years until LeBron James took over the scoring title. He guided the Lakers to 5 finals wins, even winning NBA Finals MVP for a 2nd time after his Lakers beat the Philadelphia 76ers in the 1980 NBA Finals, and not only got inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame, but today, his number 33 jersey is hanging in the rafters in both Milwaukee and Los Angeles. But even though Kareem Abdul-Jabbar lived in Milwaukee for 6 seasons, and even though everyone embraced him and tried to make him feel at home, he never truly felt at home.